You are listening to Confessions with Brian T. Bethea on 102 Jams. Peace, everybody, again.
I can't record at the same time. Remember, we're cutting out the background sounds so I can record. 3, 2.
Peace, everybody. What's good, family? Again, you're listening to Confessions with Brian T. Bethea on WJHM102jams.com. Listen, we got a special subject that we need to talk with you about. It's for everybody, you know what I'm saying? Regardless of culture, we do need to talk about this subject anyway. And I just want to let y'all know it's going to be a dope topic, which is on the use of the N-word, especially when it comes to other cultures and other races who are not black. So listen, you definitely want to stay tuned for that. You know what I'm saying? We're going to want y'all to give me some feedback. You know what I'm saying? For those of y'all that are watching on my live feed right now on Facebook, it's going to have fun, man. Listen, discuss this in the car amongst your peoples, or all around. So come on back, WJHM102jams.com. On back, WJHM102jams.com.
Hey guys, this is TC1, and when I stay in...
Call us, 407-826-0810. Okay. Coming back from commercial break.
All right.
If you go way into this, I may be tempted to try to be on your show. Because me and Pierre would love to talk about this subject. Because I don't think anyone should be using the word.
Exactly.
And he thinks that black people should be able to use that word anytime they want. And that we shouldn't be able to. And I'm like, why would you want to promote that? Why would you want to promote that? Because it doesn't refer to just black people. It refers to anyone that is an ignorant pile of nothing.
Right.
And that's what the term's for.
Right.
And you call each other that all the time. But that's my opinion. So I'm going to try to keep my mouth shut. I'm going to try. So, ready?
I'm ready.
3, 2.
Welcome back, family. What's good? Peace. Again, thank you for tuning in to Confessions with Brian T. Bethea on WJHM102jams.com. Told you we got a dope topic of discussion for you tonight. And, of course, it's probably going to lead us into some other things. So, again, thank y'all for tuning in. Please discuss this with your friends. Primarily, you know what I'm saying, for all my peoples, you know what I'm saying, of the African diaspora, you know what I'm saying, definitely discuss this amongst yourselves and discuss this with your white friends as well. So definitely discuss that. So what the topic is, the use of the N-word, primarily when people of other races use the word. So, you know, we've all, for instance, we've all been in the club. Let's say like a Kanye West record comes on or what have you, you know what I'm saying, or maybe a Talib Kweli record, or even, you know, taking it far back, like we're going back in the day, talking about NWA, maybe Ice Cube or something like that, on up to today's artists, such as, you know, somebody like maybe a Lil Yachty, Young Thug, you know what I'm saying, and you all have that one moment where you know the N-word is coming, and you're looking at a bunch of white folks around in the club, and you're looking to see if they're going to say it. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, then what do? You know, you about to stop the club, you're going to go fight or what have you. So now you're in a little bit of a dilemma, because here's the thing here. This is a word, I'm going to come from a perspective such as myself. I'm going to start with me, my personal perspective or what have you. I stopped using the N-word back in 97. I was a sophomore in college at the real HU, Hampton University. And I was watching a TV show with Ice-T, and it was a talk show. It had Ice-T on it and a few others or what have you. And they happened to be talking about the subject. And when I sat there and really thought about it after a full, you know, reflection on it, you know, it really made me think, like, my ancestors really had to endure people calling them that word, you know what I'm saying, being whipped, being spat on, having, you know, things, water hoses turned on them, drinks thrown in their face, you know what I'm saying, lynched and what have you, all in with them being called that word. And it made me wonder, why do we as black people use it in the first place? You know what I'm saying? Because to me, it makes no sense. And I'll be real honest with you there. It just makes no sense for me or anybody else to use that particular word and then want to get mad when somebody who's not black use it. You know what I'm saying? So, and we've all heard the scriptures about where it actually came from, because I know there's one teaching out that's been out there for a while. It comes from the word negus, which is Negus or what have you. And, when the slavery started, transatlantic slave trade started or what have you, they changed I guess they meant it as like a word for being sarcastic, what happened, and ended up being, the word that we know of today as nigger, instead of negus. Negus, from what I understand, meaning king or what have you. That's where apparently the word comes from, is from the word negus, which I understand means king, actually. But either way, the word has been, the meaning of the word has kind of actually been changed, to something else and to something demeaning or what have you. So, what do you do? When people are being so free with it or what have you, you know what I'm saying? And it just seems like, we don't take up the mantle anymore or let me rephrase that. Let me take that back, actually. It just seems like a lot of us as black folks don't take that mantle of, you can't use that word, for somebody who's not black, and people are using it freely, which is being very, very hypocritical, I believe, of a lot of races or what have you, a lot of ethnicities or what have you, and for instance, I was listening to the Rumor Report, the Breakfast Club, of course, with Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God, DJ Envy, or what have you. During the Rumor Report, which is the main rumor was in regards for A$AP Rocky's comments in regards to being stuck over there with in jail. They happened to talk about Chad Hanks and how Chad Hanks was defending it, okay, and his use of it. Chad Hanks, is the son of Tom Hanks, the actor, or what have you. And he says, his black friends say, they're okay with it. They know him or what have you. And, so I definitely want to discuss that, that he uses it. And I'm just like, well, why? And I'm not, saying that he's not a good person or anything like that, what have you, because I know we've had a few, there are some of us as black folks that have probably had some white folks, let get away with using it, what have you. But, my thing is like, why? And then we wonder why people don't take us seriously. You know what I'm saying? And real quick, before I go further into that, let's ask yourself, what does it mean to y'all now? What does being called a nigger to you mean now? You know what I'm saying? To me, it still means, the same as it always has been since America was first founded. You know what I'm saying? It means no different. I start to cringe now every time when I hear my own people say it. You know what I'm saying? Especially the little babies, the little children. When I hear it now coming out of the little children's mouths, I'm like, dang. You know what I'm saying? Like it feel like we haven't taught them the way that they should have been taught. You know what I'm saying? So let's go back with this right here. So I've been in situations where, I've been around white folks that have used it or what have you, and I've had to call out some of my black friends, you know what I'm saying, some of my friends, and be like, y'all letting them get away with that? Because there have been situations now, as an adult, I should say, where I've looked at them, and this may have been somebody, a friend of theirs that I met that was white, and they were like, they didn't say anything about it or what have you. And, I came to them like, y'all just going to let him use that like that? And, they didn't really know what to say. And I sat there for a while, and I talked with this. I remember one time that happened. I talked with this with my father and whatnot. And I can't remember exactly what he said, but I was just explaining to him, like, I don't know if I should have just came up, to explain to the guy, like, yo, man, they may not say anything, but this, that, and the other, you shouldn't be doing that. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of hard because then what do? Do I need to correct my own people without, with saying it? Because, just because it's not okay for somebody else to say it does not mean that it's really okay for us to say it. You know what I'm saying? Either way, you may disagree with me. Say how you feel. Of course, I understand. I don't agree with the use of it, and the only reason why I even use it now is because I put it in a poem of mine in regards for the use of the actual way that it's used. You know what I'm saying? And the meaning like an ignorant person. You know what I'm saying? It's ignorant or stupid, dumb, what have you. You know what I'm saying? And it's mainly ignorant. That's the reason why I've used it in the poem that I have. A poem I have is called Which One? But, in that regard, discuss with yourselves, why do you use it? And why do you continue to use it? And who did I hear say this? I know Ice Cube talked about it with Bill Maher, because, for instance, Bill Maher, let's go there. Bill Maher used it. And, of course, he had Ice Cube come on his show. I'm a fan of Bill Maher. I've loved what he's done with this particular show. It kind of caught me off guard, and I was disappointed in him when he did use it. And Ice Cube, I think, explained it perfectly when he came on there and, explained to him why he shouldn't be using it. And I think, from now on, you just have to be mindful. I'm not personally, for those of y'all that want to use it and you're not black, look, listen, let me be real here for a second, and let me put a disclaimer out there. I'm not using these words as a derogatory word or anything like that. I'm just giving an example. Like, how would you feel, for instance, I'm not going to go up to an Italian and call an Italian a wop, especially if I want to live. You know what I'm saying? For those of you that don't know what that is a derogatory term for somebody who's Italian. It came from the early 20th century, meaning without papers or what have you. You have to do your own research in regards to that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to call someone from Poland, a Polak or someone who's Jewish a kite. That's not smart. You know what I'm saying? Plus, that's very disrespectful to their cultures. You know what I'm saying? But however, you have people from their cultures that want to call us nigga as if it's hip or if it's cool. You know what I'm saying? So, and then some of us accept that. I'm like, nah, we need to have that thing back where it's just like, yo, you can't call us that. Even if we do call us that, you cannot call us that. You know what I'm saying? Because, there has to be a certain amount of respect. And I'll be honest with you, as black people, we are the least respected race on the face of the earth. That's just me personally. And doing stuff like that is a reason why. You know what I'm saying? Because I give it up to Black Lives Matter. I give it up to, all the folks that are, putting the foot down and taking a stance and what have you. But we've gotten so lax. And we thinking that our parents' generation and going on now, and to be eventually like our grandparents' generation, we think that they fought all the fights that we needed to have done. But, no, our struggle is a different type of struggle. We have to keep fighting. You know what I'm saying? We don't have a choice because we always know our civil rights are being challenged at every given moment. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this, because now what do you do when somebody who's, let's say like a friend of yours who's not black, you're in the middle of an argument, then they call you the N-word. Then what happens? You know what I'm saying? Are you all of a sudden now matter in that regard because, now because you've heard somebody who's white, who's supposed to be a friend of yours, they use the N-word and they might have triggered something, you know what I'm saying? Or what have you. But because I look at it like this. For those of y'all, I look at it like this. Let's say like you got a pack of dogs, for instance. And you got some nice little cute poodles. You got some, golden retrievers, Labradors, and then you have, and you got some really good, let's say like you have some really good pit bulls and some really good, Doberman pinchers or what have you. You know what I'm saying? You really got to think about that. You have to separate that. It's like you have a bunch of people like that and they use the N-word or what have you, but you got to figure out who is the dog that's man's best friend and who is the dog that's out to get you and who's out to kill you. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't decipher, in that regard, if you know what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying you have to have the status quo of y'all can't y'all can't use that word. You know what I'm saying? Because if I let someone, call me that or what have you, and all of a sudden, I'm thinking that they're friendly, we're on friendly terms, and all of a sudden they're robbing me or, or doing what have you, then what am I supposed to do? I got to make sure that I'm able to, decipher if you're a friend or foe in that regard. You know what I'm saying? I just can't decipher in like, all right, nah, he cool. You know what I'm saying? I ain't let him use it, what have you. It is what it is. But, I do want to say this. I definitely want y'all to think about it. You know what I'm saying? And because we're about to go to break because we got some bills to pay. It's always good to pay some bills. I got to keep my show in the air. So without further ado, listen, we'll be right back with this subject, WJHM102jams.com.